The Iraq War was about oil. Here's the proof. For years, U.S. officials denied that the Iraq War was about oil. But what if we told you the evidence proves otherwise? From secret government memos to the actions of major oil companies, let's uncover the truth behind one of the most controversial wars of the 21st century. Iraq sits on one of the world's largest oil reserves, over 140 billion barrels of crude oil. That's more than 5 times the reserves of the U.S. itself. Before the war, Iraq's oil was mostly off-limits to Western corporations due to sanctions. But after the invasion, things changed dramatically. The blood for oil theory. A conspiracy or reality? In 2003, President George W. Bush and Vice President Dick Cheney justified the invasion by claiming Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, weapons that were never found. Critics argued from the start that this was a cover-up and that the real motive was Iraq's oil. But is there proof? Absolutely. Proof number 1. Secret government memos and documents. Leaked documents from 2001, 2 years before the war, show that U.S. and British officials were already discussing how to divide Iraq's oil reserves among Western companies. The Pentagon and State Department even prepared detailed plans on which companies would get access after Saddam Hussein was removed. One of these documents, released by the UK government in 2011, states, "Foreign companies will have a greater ability to enter the Iraqi upstream oil sector." This means the war was never about democracy. It was about controlling oil. Proof number 2. The role of big oil companies. Before 2003, American oil companies were banned from Iraq due to sanctions. But after the U.S. took over, major corporations like ExxonMobil, Shell, BP, and Chevron won massive contracts to extract oil. Coincidence? Not at all. In fact, a 2003 report from the U.S. State Department showed that oil executives and government officials met secretly to plan Iraq's oil policies before the invasion even started. One executive from ExxonMobil was even quoted as saying, "Iraq is too important to be left to the Iraqis." Proof number 3. Dick Cheney's role in the oil industry. Vice President Dick Cheney played a key role in shaping the war. Before entering office, Cheney was the CEO of Halliburton, an oil services company. After the invasion, Halliburton received $39.5 billion in government contracts, much of it related to securing Iraq's oil infrastructure. Proof number 4. The Iraqi Oil Law, written by the U.S. In 2007, the U.S. pressured Iraq's government to pass the Iraqi Oil Law, a policy that would allow foreign companies to control Iraq's oil fields for decades. The Iraqi people resisted, but the U.S. pushed hard. Why? Because this law was written with the help of the U.S. State Department and oil executives. The war was always about oil. The evidence is clear. The Iraq War was not about weapons of mass destruction, democracy, or terrorism. It was about controlling oil. And those who profited the most were not the Iraqi people, but Western oil giants and their political allies. So the next time someone says, the Iraq War wasn't about oil, remember the facts. Because the truth is right in front of us. What do you think? Was the Iraq War really about oil? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more eye-opening content.